it's a really overwhelming time, especially if you've never done this before. So I know with my first, it was pile of information being thrown at you, and you also have this little human that you've got to look up and bring in the world, and it's very overwhelming. And what I find is, you know, there's all this care for the mum up until she has the baby, then we have the baby, and then all the care goes on to the baby, and then the mum gets forgotten. And in life, it's really easy to, you know, we put ourselves last, we try and look after everyone else. You know, we get forgotten, and I don't want you to be forgotten, because when you are good, when you are happy, it relays onto your children, and you can parent better, you can be better for them. So it is really, really important to put some time into yourself. What I found, and I have 2 children, so what I found comparing number 1 to number 2 is with my first, I got back pain. So when I was feeding, I got back pain because I'd get into these positions where I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to move because he was asleep and I wasn't quite sure, and I, again, was just putting myself last, and, you know, well, he's okay, you know, I was too scared to change things. So I found I ended up getting a lot of lower back pain. And with my daughter, I made sure that I did things a bit differently, and I didn't get any lower back pain. So what I recommend to all my new mums out there, or any feeding mums, is put in some stretches. So what I did, I tagged them with feeding. So after I fed, and again, life is not perfect and we can't be perfect. You just have to do things when you can and when it works in your life. You know, so but what I try to do is I try to tag some form of stretching with feeding. Because I fed regularly, and then I just made sure I did a little bit of stretching after, and it made the world of difference. Because remember, you're in this hunched position. Your hunched position to feed, we're picking the baby up out of the pram, out of the bassinet, or, you know, out of the cot, anything. We're always like this. So we're in this kind of hunched position. So it's really nice to try to keep this stuff open and to prevent the lower back. We're also weaker in the core and all of that because of being pregnant. Your abdominals and your tummy and all that has been stretched. You know, so we need to give all this stuff a lot of time. Really important to put in some time for yourself. So some stretches that I did that you could try at home would be cat and cow. Okay, so again, depending, you can put your baby down, you know, you can feed them, put them to sleep, and then, you know, just do the stretches next to them. You can just, anywhere you can fit them in. Okay, so reaching up all this way. So when I'm coming up, I'm trying to stretch through my shoulder blades, reaching up, and then coming back down, pushing your chest through your arms. And reaching up again. And when I'm coming down, I'm stretching through the lower back. You know, I'm pushing my chest out through my arms. And you really take the time to use your breath. Your breath is your best friend during these things. So cat and cow is a great one to try. The other thing that you would try is hand on to your ear. Okay. Elbow to the opposite wrist, and then reaching up to the sky, okay? And each time, so you try 10 times on each side. So each time, trying to get your chest a little bit higher to the sky. You'll feel this stretch all through the spine. So you would do 10 times on each side, okay? The other one that you can try, so is if you can cross your legs, push your body weight forward. It's going to help stretch through the hips. So a lot of times, especially if you have a sore lower back, it can be the opposing muscle group. So it actually could be your hips, you know, that we want to look at stretching more. So so you can do that first, but then we come cross our legs, put one arm down and cross the other arm over. And this will stretch all through your side. And then change to the other side. actually a really nice feeling. I want to make sure we sit up straight. I just caught myself leaning back. So that's 3 stretches that you could try, and I would tag them, and it's really about moving around and feeling what feels tight for you. So, you know, there's things like shoulder shrugs that we can do. You can do that while you're sitting down. The other one, like a standing. So if you only have one, you know, bit and you need you're standing instead of sitting, you can do, this is the same as that seated stretch. So anything like that you could add in after you've fed your baby and get into the habit of it straight away, it'll make the world of difference. Now, every mum that I've recommended it to has commented or said how good it has made them feel. So please make sure you try that, fit some stretches in. It is so important, and it will help reduce getting any back pain.